Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
In what may be described as an extremely historic move, the Lok Sabha yesterday passed a bill ensuring that there is 10% reservation for upper castes who are economically backward. The move is being hailed by some as a belated move, something that should have happened much earlier, but the opposition is saying really that it is a politically motivated move and it actually signals some degree of desperation within the BJP a few months before the Lok Sabha elections. I have with me very eminent jurist Mr. Soli Sorabjee to talk about this issue, to talk about the legal tenability of this entire proposal, because the government has said that it will move a constitutional amendment to ensure the same. So my very first question, is this move legally tenable? Is it something that will be challenged in the courts later on, or do you think this is legally sound?
In our country, anything is challenged. First, go to the first step. They will have to move a constitutional amendment.
Yes.
Actually, in a way, it's good. It's reservation for whom? For backward classes. Isn't it so?
For economically backward.
Economically backward classes.
Yeah.
So the motive is good, the spirit is good. The criticism which should be done earlier, all right, not done earlier, but now it's done. So why rake up the past? You must redeem the future. With the result, it will go to the states, if they ratify it, well and good. But it will take some time.
Yeah.
It won't be an easy, smooth ride.
Right. But, sir, in the 1991 Indira Sahni case, which is a landmark judgment really, the Supreme Court said that there would be a cap on reservation at 50% and there cannot be reservation beyond this 50% limit. This amendment really would be breaching that 50% cap.
But that 50% was not an absolute thing. It's not that circumstances change, if conditions require it, you may exceed it. So if it is satisfied, if the government satisfies that there were conditions which warranted in going beyond 50%, then it's all right. But then have to provide cogent, credible evidence. Right. And that's why we did it. And if that goes through, it's okay.
Right. So I don't have much legal knowledge in comparison to you for sure, but from the little law that we all know, the idea behind reservation is not to really alleviate poverty. It's not really to lift people up from poverty. It's to sort of improve on the historic injustices that were done through the caste system. Is it correct to expand the scope of reservation to include people who are economically backward? Because one would argue then where does this entire idea of reservation stop?
But when it stops says 50% limit is there, not absolute, but it has to be complied with. But in a way, this is a measure of social justice. Isn't it so? After all, there's people, backwardness is a real criterion. And if that is so, I don't see any reason why it can't go through. And I don't see any reason why in principle it's so.
Yeah. But my next question is that in the same 1991 judgment, the Supreme Court had said that economic criteria cannot be the criterion alone. It has to be coupled with another criterion of backwardness to give reservation. In this case, the government has said that economically weaker sections from upper castes. So does it in that sense violate the Supreme Court judgment?
It doesn't violate, but actually it's really a little ambiguous by upper caste because they are not defined. So there's a problem there. And there may be some difficulty as far as that is concerned. All
right. So shifting the focus to an entirely different subject, the Supreme Court yesterday reinstated Mr. Alok Verma as the CBI chief. What do you make of the Supreme Court judgment? Do you think...
The Supreme Court is the right thing. They said that he can't be asked to go on indefinite leave and divest him of powers without the sanction of the selection committee.
Correct.
But the Supreme Court has again said that the selection committee should meet within 1 week and decide what to do. Yeah. So really it's a halfway house. Alok Verma has been reinstated, but we have to see what the selection committee does. And the selection committee may Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition and Chief Justice.
Yeah.
But possibly Chief Justice may not take part in the case which is hearing it because he's there. But that's the trouble with this reservations and all that. We give merit a complete go-by, but that we have to live with reservations, unfortunately. That's what we have done. But Alok Verma, one thing is good, that the court has reaffirmed the principle that the government can't, in the sense of sending on leave, the arrest him all powers, but in effect amounts to removing him in substance. But again, the selection committee will meet within 1 week. After the meet in 1 week, what they do, this will decide Alok Verma's case.
And also he's set to retire in the first week of February.
I know, that's a little peculiar thing. That they might add the period, might extend the thing. It's not fair to him. If he's retiring first.
To just be in for a week or so.
I think that's the reason why they asked the selection committee to take the decision
within a week. Yes. So you said something very interesting about merit when it comes to reservation. That merit, the question of merit. Do you think this entire bill that the Lok Sabha has passed yesterday, it in some way diminishes the idea of merit and makes our country more and more dependent on this vicious cycle of reservation that people sometimes say is a vicious cycle?
In a way is even recognized by the Constitution, in a way.
Merit is not recognized?
No, reservation is recognized. To that extent, merit does is rather diluted. But we shouldn't dilute it further. There must be strong evidence to show why it was necessary.
Do you think this bill dilutes merit further? The idea of merit?
To the extent that it doesn't, it only goes to the... Well, we know. It is a backwardness, correct?
Yeah.
Economic backwardness.
Correct.
So backwardness can also be a factor why you can make reservation. The idea is to make them come up to the standard. And after that, but it must not continue indefinitely. It can't go on every year, every 2 years, 3 years, you can't go on like that. After some time it must cease. Otherwise what happens? Our country to be governed only by reservations, merit doesn't take any role. Merit certainly is diminished, but to the extent it's necessary in view of our history and particular situation about certain communities. It shouldn't be done further.
Right.
This trend must stop.
It should stop.
Yes, it must not continue.
Right. Sir, a lot of important commentators, including Mr. Pratap Bhanu Mehta, he wrote a column in the Indian Express yesterday. He said that through this bill, the government seems to have admitted its political failure. I would like to ask you that, on one hand, no jobs are being created. There are a lot of vacancies in the government. On the other hand, you're increasing reservations. So basically, the size of the cake is the same, and you're just distributing more and more pieces. Would you agree?
Well, there's substance in that criticism. I may say there's something in it he says. But you know how the country runs. Election is how some things are done for the purpose of really keeping the elections in mind.
Do you think this is done keeping the elections in mind?
Surely, to some extent. Every political party will do that. There's no question about it. But a time has come when we should really assess the merit, don't give it a go-by. It must also be important. How do you otherwise function effectively and efficiently? But that's a utopian dream, I think. Whether it comes true or not, I don't know. But that is very interesting. Today in Rajya Sabha also there are a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I believe they are insisting you should go to a select committee.
Correct. That's what the opposition is saying. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sorabjee, for talking to us and sharing insights on this very crucial issue. Thank you so much for watching. Keep following The Print.